What's up, everybody? John Eric Pola here with My MMA News, and I'm happy to be joined by Jeff Molina coming off a big win Tuesday night on the Dana White Contender Series. His win over Jacob Silva got him a UFC contract. Jeff, how you doing, my man?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. So I guess, well, first and foremost, congratulations on the win, getting that contract. What's it like for you knowing that you'll be fighting in the best MMA promotion in the whole entire world?
Thank you, man. It feels awesome. It feels amazing. I said this in my post-fight interview with Laura Sanko. This feels real. Like, we hear it a lot, like the cliche, like, this feels unreal. This feels real to me. I've pictured this 1,000 times. I've seen this legit since I was a kid, man. So it feels good to be here, man. I expected this from myself, but the support I'm getting is overwhelming. Just hearing like the introduction earlier when you're like, dude, you're in the UFC, like that still hasn't rung a bell yet. Like, it's still not familiar with me. Like, yesterday I upgraded my Instagram little bio thing to say UFC flyweight instead of just like pro flyweight. Like, that was cool to me, man. But yeah, it feels great. It feels great.
Yeah, man, I'm sure it does. I mean, that's awesome knowing that you're there, and we'll all be rooting for you here now as you go along with your UFC journey. But I want to talk a little bit about that fight against Jacob Silva. I mean, what an absolute war. So I guess first and foremost, why don't you just break it down through your eyes, that fight and how it went and just how tough of a fight it was?
Yeah, man. Silva's a tough kid, man. He's durable. That's one thing we knew about him. Like, if we knew one thing for certain about Silva, was that he was durable. In all my previous interviews leading up to the fight, they would ask me to describe him, and that was the one word I said throughout the interviews, was that the kid's durable. So we weren't surprised that I wasn't able to get a finish. And that kind of was the game plan, was just to touch him, man. I knew I'd be able to hurt him a lot, but not to be discouraged if I didn't knock him out or TKO him. I knew I think Jacob was the right dance partner I needed in order to solidify my contract. He just because he was the type of guy I can put the performance on that I needed to. The fight itself, gritty, man, gritty. I'm not too happy with my performance. There was a lot of factors that could have played into it, but a fight's a fight at the end of the day, and I won, man. That's the most important part, right? Winners win. My coach James Krause talks about that all the time. Like, that's the most important part, is winners win, and I won. So on your Tapology.com page, the most important thing is the win, right? On your loss, there's no asterisk. There's no loss and then an asterisk that says tough weight cut or says had this injury, fill in the blank, like, there's none of that, right? What matters is winning, and I won, and I got a UFC contract, and I'm here.
Yeah, so not only did you win, but you got Dana White to give you a standing ovation when it was over. So I guess, like you were saying, he was a very durable opponent, and you kind of knew that going and getting a finish would be very hard to do. And you imagine that going the distance is probably the more realistic thing. And Dana White on the show, he likes seeing finishes. So were you at all worried when you went to the decision that would play a factor, or when you saw him standing up cheering you on, that you had it solidified?
Yeah, when I got the news about this fight, my manager, one of my managers, Joe Wooster, he told me even if I were to go to a decision in this fight, and this was back in February, that I'd still get a contract. That's just my style. I've never been in a boring fight. I've said that all week. Dude, I've had 23, 24 fights. I had like 10 kickboxing fights or 9 kickboxing fights when I was underage. You should have seen me in those kickboxing fights, dude. I would just wing overhands, throw flashy stuff, cartwheel kicks. There's my coach James Krause, before he was actually my actual coach, he reffed one of my kickboxing fights. I noticed he was reffing, so I threw the old James Krause cartwheel kick in the middle of the fight just as like a tribute to him, man. So my style has always been entertaining, and I knew even if I didn't get a finish that I'd probably get a contract. And that does sound kind of cocky to say, but dude, it's just my style. Like, I'm looking for the finish at all times. I know I said earlier that we weren't really looking for the finish in this fight, but dude, it's hard not to. Like, it's hard not to. So anytime I saw a cut or I saw him get wobbled, like, I wanted to finish him, but I just wasn't disappointed in myself that I didn't,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand completely, man. And one of the things I want to touch on with you too is about Glory MMA and just how much they've helped you out. I know you've mentioned the gym now several times and your coaches. Just how helpful were they to you throughout not only your career but getting ready for this moment that now you're in the big show there, you're in the UFC.
Tremendously, man. They're the reason I'm here. What we have over at Gloria MMA is really special, man. Like I don't think you can find it anywhere. I really don't. I think we're not only the best gym in the Midwest, but in the world. And I think very soon people are going to find that out. We got people like Megan Anderson, who's in the UFC, Grant Dawson, James Krause, Zach Cummings, UFC vet Jason High as a coach, myself. We got a bunch of killers, dude. Like the training room in there is insane. From like the low-level amateur, we got low-level amateurs that can compete with high-level pros any day. So there's no easy days in the gym, man. And a lot of people don't know about our gym, but they will. I promise you, man. And then I mentioned the coaches. James Krause, dude, he will go down as one of the best coaches to ever do it, in my opinion. I really think so. He's just a mastermind of the sport, and I don't think he gets enough credit. And he will soon.
Well, I can tell you definitely with all those names there, Glory MMA definitely is on the rise. And you guys are going to be getting a lot of attention coming up here in a few months because I believe was it earlier this week or later last week, they announced that Amanda Nunes is fighting Megan Anderson. So I know all the cameras that are going to be around the gym. And you mentioned Megan before there. I wanted to just get your thoughts a little bit on her as she's getting ready to go and fight the greatest women's mixed martial artist of all time in Amanda Nunes.
Megan Anderson is a savage, man. Not only is she a super cool chick, she is an animal inside the cage. I feel like she hasn't had her coming out party. Her last fight, she was able to show just how good she is, but she has so much more to show, man. Like the Megan Anderson I know is a killer. Now, she for sure does have a tough task ahead of her with Amanda Nunes, but I really think Megan at 100% is just a different animal. So it's a tough fight, but man, I really do think Megan can get a finish against Amanda Nunes.
And then one more Glory MMA thing for you too. We obviously know Laura Sanko. Everyone that watches the UFC watches her. She does a fantastic job as part of the broadcast team there. I didn't know she still trained. I knew obviously she used to fight back in the day. I had no idea that she was still in the gym working out with all of you guys. And she mentioned a lot on the broadcast about her working out there. So what's Laura? We know Laura as the broadcaster. What's she like inside the gym there? She still go out there and kick some ass every once in a while?
Yeah, man. Yeah, she's just as good in an MMA gym as she is as an interviewist and commentator. Or interviewer. I don't think interviewist is a word. Yeah, she's a savage, man. She still gets in the gym, cracks mitts, does personal sessions, like pad sessions, and she looks good on the mitts, man. Like I really think that if she wanted to, she could compete. She's still pretty young. She's a badass, man. If they ever do like a charity bout or something, I would love to see her maybe do like a boxing fight with like Megan O'Leary or something, just something fun, but just so she can show her skills. But yeah, she's a badass, man.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching her do all the work that she does there. So it's glad to see that she still goes in there and still helps out in the Glory MMA world there. And then, last couple things here, we'll start wrapping things up. I want to talk one more thing with the Contender Series here. We've been seeing a lot of these guys that have been signed doing quick turnarounds. The longest you guys have to wait is maybe getting a fight in October, maybe, which is obviously not that far away when you think about it. Are you prepared mentally to go about, possibly having the fight in the next month or two after you just went through a 3-round war?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Man, injury-wise, the only thing I'm worried about is my foot. As long as that clears out, man, as long as it's not actually broken, I haven't gotten an X-ray yet, but if that clears out, I'm ready to fight. My manager has already talked to me about a date and an opponent, so I'm ready to go.
I'm glad that you brought that the foot up there. Everyone's so caught up in just what a great fight it was too. I completely forgot all about that. I'm watching the other day, and as soon as you got the win, you're shouting like, and now it's on a hurt foot. It was the first round, right? You were saying you heard it in the first round, and you went that whole entire fight with the with a possibly broken foot. I know you didn't find out yet, but with your foot being banged up after the first round.
Yeah, man. What sucks was that I felt it like it was before the adrenaline fully kicked in. That's how early it was in the fight. I kicked his elbow, and I felt something like crunch in my foot, and it wasn't like super painful. It just it was like a numb pain, and it was the crunch that made me think that it was broken. So, yeah, I said this in my post-fight little presser that they did, but they're like, for a split second in my head, I had to make the decision to either like try to start limping on it, change my stance, or just keep kicking with the fucker. So I chose plan B.
And hey, it all played out for you because you got the win and you got that UFC contract. And then just before I let you go ahead, your social media accounts, management, sponsors, anything that you need to give a shout out to. Floor is yours, my man.
My man. Shout out to my gym, Gloria MMA. We talked about them a lot. They're really the reason I'm here, and I'm just getting started. We really got something special cooking up at Glory. I want to thank my coaches, James Krause, Jason Hyde, Austin Ford, Grant Dawson. And then sponsors, man. I've had the only sponsor I've had since the very start of my career, like amateur days, is my man Clint from Pedro's Barbershop in Olathe, Kansas. He is the man. He has supported me from day one. My other sponsor, my tattoo artist, Kiko, he actually moved from Kansas City to Vegas, and I got a tattoo from him yesterday. I hadn't seen him in like 3 years, so that was pretty cool, man. Shout out to him. If you need some good tattoo ink work, hit up my man Kiko here in Las Vegas. And my management team, Iridium Sports Agency, Jason House, man, he actually stepped in to corner me short notice on Tuesday night. He's the man. He let me beat him up backstage. He's the best manager. So, yes, thank you, guys.
All right, Jeff, we appreciate the time and look forward.
Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Look forward to seeing you in the UFC doing your thing, man. So best of luck to you.